Hi, this is Bob Papa, voice of the New York Football Giants, and this is the Big Blue UK and Ireland podcast.
Welcome back, Giants fans, to our preseason interview series. Joining me for this episode is our UK ambassador flying the flag for us over here in the UK and Ireland, over there in America. It's Paul Duffy, ladies and gents. Thanks for joining me, man. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Happy to be here. I'm very honored that you guys asked me to be on. Counting down the minutes to football season and just having you guys come over again. So it's a very exciting time of year.
Certainly is. Football season is now, 2 weeks away? Preseason's halfway done, and we're getting close to some meaningful Giants football. We can't wait. You can't wait.
Can't wait.
Just got to get these next couple of weeks to get through. I don't know how many minutes and seconds it is. I'm sure it's not many compared to what
we have a little time
the last 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we need a timer counting down the minutes and seconds.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? But yeah, no, we're looking forward to getting this season rocking. There's plenty going on in preseason. There's plenty been going on in camp, and obviously we're going to get your thoughts on some of what's been happening over the last few weeks as well.
Absolutely.
Obviously, this series is something new that we're doing with fans, content creators, some other special guests as well. We've got 5 questions for you, and then we'll have a quick 5 round of predictions for you at the end. Before we get into the current season, though, first question. How do you sum up a season like last year?
So frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I mean, I was out in Vegas for the Raiders game when Daniel Jones went down. And, I was with my brother and a couple of friends of mine. And it was just kind of like, man. And it happened so early in the game, trying to remain optimistic and everything. And I think that was just kind of like a microcosm of how the season was, like so excited. There was so much anticipation. And then it was just like almost like just anything that could go wrong last year went wrong, and, even
in that game as well.
Yeah. And even leading up to this season, there's been so much negativity. And quite frankly, I don't get it. I really, really don't get it.
I think everybody loves to hate the Giants, though, don't they? Let's face it. I mean, look at the Twitterverse, with the Giants, the fan base on Twitter.
Yeah,
there's always so much negativity surrounding the team.
Giants Twitter is a different animal.
We could go 10-6. There's still going to be haters out there. We win a playoff game and there's still Daniel Jones haters out there. Yes, he might not be the best quarterback in the league, but he is our starting quarterback. Let's get behind him. Let's support him. And it really bugs me. But I'm hopeful for this season.
I am
last
too.
season,
I am too. I think we have a lot of pieces in place. I mean, if you even just looking at the glass half full from last year, outside of the Jets game where we lost at the heartbreaker at the end of the game on something crazy. We lost our field goal kicker. We probably would have won 2 games with that. I mean, the Buffalo game, we lost on the last play of the game. We should have won that game. So there's 3 games right there. We'd have won those games. We'd have been in the thick of the playoff hunt. So,
sure.
I mean, and those are fluke things. We're not talking about getting blown out or anything like that. So, I mean, it's the bounce of a ball. It's this, that. So everybody predicting the Giants to be like 3-14 this season and all that. Yeah, I think it's just crazy.
Let's face it, we're not finishing below Washington in the division. Come on.
Hey, you know what? I'll take it every year because back in 2007 and the rest of them, they had never said that we were going to do anything. In 2011, when they asked Eli if they thought he was elite, and he said yes, and they burned him. And that's right. I love it. And they burned him. And said he's not elite, and then he went on to win the Super Bowl. So, I mean, let's stop the noise.
Of course, and he's the first ballot Hall of Famer this year as well, so we've got a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely.
So last season, it was frustrating, it was disappointing, and at the end of the day, we move on, and so we look forward to this year because at the end of the day, we're not gonna dwell on last year forever. We're gonna look forward to this season and be hopeful and be thankful that we've not got a Yeah, I think we've got a fairly competitive looking roster as it stands. There's a few weaknesses, there's a few holes on the roster, but especially this offensive line. This offensive line has changed so much, and strengthened so much. I mean, look at the game against Houston the weekend. I mean, the starting offensive line looks solid, so we can't be too disappointed. So we've got a lot to look forward to.
Even without Evan Neal really doing anything yet,
Yeah.
Let's say if he comes back and he's average. We'll take average over anything.
100%.
And if he is a swing guy where you can move him around and place him where you need him, perfect.
Yeah. I mean, we've said on the podcast for a while, like we don't need a top 5, top 10 offensive line. We just need like a middle of the pack, average offensive line that can do their job. They might give up some sacks, they might give up some pressure, but just to do their job and open the lanes for the runners and protect the quarterback. As long as they can do that, it gives us a chance.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure how much of that has been injuries that have lagged him really. But I mean, all 32 teams had him at the top of the draft board when the Giants drafted him a couple years ago. So I mean, the talent's there. All 32 teams had him ranked. All 32 teams can't be wrong. Nope. So I mean,
exactly that.
Talent's there. I still believe in the kid, just like I still believe in DJ. And I'm going to go on the record saying that. And hopefully it doesn't come back and bite me, but
I mean, I do as well. And without giving a prediction away, like that will come a little bit later.
Yeah, that's what I was trying not to do.
What are your predictions? Your expectations, and your hopes for this season? What do you hope to see from the Giants this season?
All right. So what I've been hearing from a lot of people and is what is the Giants' identity? What is their identity?
It's a good question.
Me, I grew up. A lot of us grew up when in the 80s when the Giants were known for their ferocious defense. And I just look at having some guys in the middle, Okereke, McFadden, who, again, glass half full. He was carted off the other day. Now they're saying he could be back by week 1. Hopefully he's healed from his groin injury. So fingers crossed there. But looking at these 4 guys we got up front, look at this guy that's been in preseason that he made that play during
Elijah Chapman.
Yeah. Look at him. You got him. Can you imagine him taking a body, Dex taking 2, and you got Spider-Man and Kayvon. Right. Ferocious. Going up against, Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. I mean, I'm excited. I don't care what anybody says. They can't take that away from me. I'm telling you, this is going to be a Giants defense. And you know what? We all know our secondary is weak. They just redid Andrew Thomas's salary cap thing, so we got a little extra funds there. Let's let Joe Shane cook. Let's let him cook. We're happy so far. We still got 2 weeks. Let's see what he comes up with. But I am ecstatic about this defense. I can't wait to see it week 1.
Yeah, the defensive front is looking strong. Obviously, on the depth chart, you got Nacho in there as well, and there's a few other names as well. But it doesn't outside of those sort of starters, it doesn't look particularly deep. But at the same time, I think the depth pieces we do have, like Elijah Chapman, he's showing what he's capable of in the preseason. And it's almost like he's just that one play alone where he tracked back like 30, 40 yards down the sideline. It's almost
incredible. For a man
that play alone has earned him a roster spot, in my opinion.
Right. 100%. And that's the gems. That's the gems that wins you the extra games late in the season. Mm-hmm. The Patriots never had an all-star roster, and I'm not comparing us to the Patriots. I'm just saying overall, the year they were so good for so long because they drafted people. People never really knew who these guys were, but every week they showed up and made plays, and this is where you win in the league, is the bottom of the draft, or these unknown guys that you find, these diamonds in the rough, and he is definitely a diamond.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is Tom Brady, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the same thing. I mean, 199th pick in the league. Nobody thought it was anything.
No. But there we go. We're not going to talk about Patriots anymore. Let's put that to bed. But no, I think expectations this season, I think I've seen a lot of people saying, like you said, people predicting we're going to be 3-14, 4-13.
Crazy.
3-4 wins this year. And I'm like, come on, you can't be that negative all the time, surely. But like who do you think is going to, out of everyone we picked up this off season through free agency, through the draft, who do you think is going to make the biggest impact?
Well, I got to go with my man, Spider-Man. That's me. That's my guy. I was so excited when we got him. Always been a big defensive end guy, stuff like that. Pass rusher, pin your ears back, go get him. You look at the quarterbacks that we got to face in our own division, because let's be honest, that's where the nitty gritty of our season is going to be. We need to finally get over the hump and win these divisional games. Dallas, Philly, we got to at least split them both,
Yep.
and then you got to win both with Washington. Things like that. Some kind of formation like that. But we got to start beating these guys in our division. So for me, I think this year, as much as we talk about Malik Neighbors and all these young guys coming in, the season's rocking on DJ's shoulders. We're going to go as far as that man takes us. And I truly believe that with the talent he's got around him, despite what we saw in the preseason game, that I feel like we're going to get the 2022 version of Daniel Jones. And if we do that, we're going to win. We're going to win quite a few games this year.
I hope so. Because he's clearly got it in him. We've seen it from him.
100%.
With an offensive line that wasn't particularly strong back 2 years ago. Now the fact that we've got Jermaine Illuminor, we've got Aaron Stinney, we've got Greg Van Roten, we've got John Runyon up there alongside Andrew Thomas, with Evan Neal coming back as well. It's like we've gone from 0 to this line this year, and that's not to there's other backups in there as well. There's other depth in as well. So
that we have like a very untalented roster. It just boggles my mind. It really does.
Rubbish, huh? It's
like I said, go back and look at the games last year. We lost. I gave you 3 games. We would have been right in the thick of the playoff line if it wasn't for 3 fluke things that happened. So that's the name of the game sometimes. So I mean, but it's that close. The Giants are not as far away as people are making it out to be, and we're going to see that this season.
I think so too, and I think obviously Spider-Man, he's being paid big money. He's got to earn that money. He's got to produce, and I've no doubt they will. He's going to take the amount of double teams that Thibodeau got last year, the amount of double teams that Dexter Lawrence got last year. He's going to take that aspect of that away, and the amount of times that Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence are going to be left in single coverage, it's going to be. They're just going to steamroll over these guys.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's going to help out the young guys that we got in the secondary who are developing too. So again, we didn't have the best secondary in either one of the runs that we went on. So
no.
Listen, let our defense cook. I think that's going to. I think you're going to see this year, especially early on, that we're finally going to get our identity, and people are going to be like, "That's who the Giants are." And that's what
I want to see. I want to see good defense this year. Me and Shane are covering defense all this season, and we really want to see some. Not just, we don't necessarily need to see fireworks. We just want to see hard, tackle. Making completing those tackles, not missing the tackles. And just playing hard and just going at it and making plays.
And listen, we know Daboll is going to have them playing that way. We know Daboll is going to have them playing that way. And we got another year of them building the roster. Is the roster perfect? No. Does the roster have holes in it? Yes. Every roster has holes in it. And listen, if everything was predetermined, we wouldn't even play these games. So people could say what they want. Let them say it. We are going to put our stamp on the NFL this year.
Exactly. I hope so. In a very good way. Obviously, the Giants this offseason are featured on Hard Knocks, in Hard Knocks offseason, which was a revelation. What were your major takeaways from it?
Yeah. Well, the whole Saquon thing. I mean, I thought they should have got rid of Saquon last year, and maybe I was in the minority on that. I thought they should have tried to trade him to get something else. I mean, in hindsight, when you look now where he ended up, we should have traded him.
Yeah,
but I got no hard feelings towards Saquon personally. I like how the show kind of developed. Again, I think Mara still kind of daddles a little bit too much, or at least puts his opinion out there too much. But he's the owner; can't tell him no. So
exactly.
But I think the Giants are going to be fine without Saquon. I really do. And again, I could be in the minority on that, and that's totally fine. But I think the Giants are going to be just fine without Saquon.
At the end of the day, I think we've got the weapons in place on offense, and Devin Singletary is not a bad running back at all by any shape of the by any shape, by any way. So he's a good replacement for Barkley, and I think with this offensive line that we do have,
and you're going to have Tracy too, the young man.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and
listen, one thing, Barkley was never a 30 down back. You weren't handing the ball off to Barkley 30 times. I think he did that like how many times the Giants?
3 times.
I think there's like 2 or 3 times that the Giants really like workhorse back, how like the Dallas used Ezekiel Elliott, things like that. Barkley was not that guy. Not that guy. And the Giants need a back that's a 30 down back.
Yeah.
And not
forget Eric Gray as well. Eric Gray, and we got Turbo Miller as well, and it's it's a strong looking backfield, and I think Singletary there to be that lead back, I think is a great move, and I think we can see great things from him this year, hopefully. So
and one other thing on that note, I mean, if you look at where Saquon's stats are, which were middle of the road, you can say whatever you want, offensive line, whatever. His stats are what his stats are, and are you for what the Eagles or whoever else was going to have to pay that much money, more than what an average a back like Singletary was getting? Were you really getting that much more for that extra $7-8 million that you had to pay to get him? No, it wasn't worth it. And we couldn't do it. We had to cut bait. We had too many other holes to fill. It just is what it is. No hard feelings, but we had to do it.
It's business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. I don't think it would have been that painful if it wasn't a second round pick, but
Yeah. And the thing is as well, like I mean, I get it. He's obviously he wants to get paid and he wants his money. Fine, like it is what it is. But it just felt like a little bit of a bitter end, and I think it didn't necessarily come across in his favor. I thought.
No, it didn't.
But it was always going to be very sort of team focused in terms of we've done all we can.
And you kind of tell I think it was episode 2, beginning episode 3, when they actually went to that phone call when Joe Shane told him to go test for it. You could just tell by Saquon's voice it was over. It was over
for sure.
Yeah, we all know it.
But what was your standout favorite moment from Hard Knocks? If you had to pick one.
I think when they were talking about how Neighbors was a dog, when Daboll was going through that whole process and saying like that's the guy, and just seeing the suspense, even though we knew what happened, I was sitting there watching that like, oh my god, are the Giants gonna get him? I did want them to get a quarterback, but obviously that didn't work out. Pivot.
A lot of people did.
I think the Giants got the best playmaker in the draft by far. I mean, you could just look at him. Just look at some of the ball handling stuff that he does. The guy is just a freak of nature.
Yeah, and we've seen a few glimpses of it in camp as well with the joint practices with the Lions. There was a few bombs thrown in there by Dan Jones, and it's like, talking to Dan Jones, do you think he should keep the beard?
Yeah, I actually do. Listen, it's hard to see. The wife actually lets me actually have a little bit of a beard. So I got to go, man. I think Daniel Jones has a little bit of an attitude to him with that look. I hope he keeps it. I hope so. I think it gives him a little bit more swagger too. To be honest, the guy needs it.
Exactly, he does that. He does need it. Now, wrapping up with the questions. Obviously, I'm assuming you've been a Giant for life, but correct me if I'm wrong. But what does this team mean to you?
Oh man. My dad took me to my first Giants game. It was 1995. We were playing the Cardinals, and we won it in overtime, and that was my first game. And I was obsessed ever since. And that was like my college goal to myself, was to, be a season ticket holder and all that. And I was finally able to do that. And just how it's affected my life is just everything in my life, in large part. A lot of the friends that I've made and everything has been circled around the Giants and football. And so it really is more of a family thing to me, more than just going to the game and watching the Giants on Sunday. It is like a big family thing to me. So I think for me, that's the biggest thing that I got out of it is all the wonderful friends and experiences that I've had that surrounded it.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that we get to do this every week and sit here and albeit it's online, it's via a streaming website, we get to sit here and talk football every week with, you know, three of the guys that I class now as probably three of my best mates, you know, and it's like it's definitely a blessing, and it's definitely something that I cherish and I thoroughly enjoy every week, and you know, getting a chance to meet you and getting a chance to meet your guys out there and just enjoy football, but also enjoy each other's company and get to know each other and have fun and just.
And that's the other thing too. And that's the other thing. I like this.
There you go.
Like this never was, and like we never planned this. It was never a thing.
I mean,
it was just,
we were talking about it just before we come on, actually, but. Just give us a little bit of an insight into the embassy. So
like you said, so the like we were talking about earlier, like I had just originally messaged Andy when I was at Newark Airport when I was flying over to the game, and he had messaged me back, and he was just like, "Yeah, we'll see, maybe we'll get a chance to meet up or whatever," not knowing that once we met up, that it just kind of exploded and took on a life of its own, and and then it turned into. Him, Andy, Sam, Jeremy, a couple of my best mates that came over for games and started hanging out. And then it was like, well, in the group, they allowed me to be a part of the UK group online. And then people were always asking questions, and I always volunteered to help them. Hey, if you need help getting tickets, if you need help where to go, need to get a hotel or somewhere to stay, you want to tailgate, please come. I love meeting new people. And then it just turned into that. And now I've had people from the UK, Ireland, Scotland, Denmark, Spain, Germany, so it's kind of taken on a real life of its own. But I mean, it's been so incredible. And, here we go again. We're doing Munich in a couple months.
Yes, we are.
I can't wait. Oh my God, I cannot wait. How great
it's going to be flowing.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just the experiences and friends that I've made. And like I said, some of them will come over and spend Thanksgiving in my house with my family here. And just to have that, like I said, it's been remarkable. And outside of just winning and losing with the Giants, it's family. It really is, and I don't care who it is, anybody over there that wants to hit me up to come over, I'll help them do whatever they want. That's my job. That's kind of the title that I took on. So happy to do it. And I love meeting new people and making new friends like you guys, when you guys started, so it's been absolutely great.
Yeah. And the thing is, I've been part of the UK fan club like for as long as I can remember. I remember speaking with Andy and Keith not long after the group started, saying like, hey, if you need any help, just sort of with a little, sort of admin tasks, admin things, I'm more than happy to help, sort of thing, and help to grow the group to what it is now. I mean, obviously, I played a very, very, very minuscule part of what they've done, but it's I've been a part of it. Kev's been a part of that group for a long time as well.
Yeah,
so it's been a part of our lives for a long, long time, and it's almost like I don't know what we'd do without it, sort of thing. So
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't either. I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't have this group and everything that's gone on. It's been such a wild ride, and I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait for this season to start and to do it again.
I mean, we appreciate everything you do for everyone that goes over there. So
Well, thank you. That does mean a lot. Like I said, and it makes it just hearing from people and hearing it when they come back. They write me letters and say how that they have memory to last a lifetime. They're never going to forget it. I mean that.
Yeah. Because for some people it is a once in a lifetime experience.
100%.
And so it's it's not cheap to fly over to the US. No. It's not especially going into sort of the New York tri-state area. It's not a cheap place to stay. And it takes people a long time to save up the money to get there. So to be able to have this experience for a holiday that they're maybe only going to get once in a lifetime, it's
right. And listen, we do that too. Like sometimes I know about people that are coming over, and some people are coming over solo. And I've had it before where I've introduced to people that were from the UK that were coming solo, and they kind of ended up bunking together and split their cost, and they made their trip a lot more enjoyable, and they weren't worried about being able to afford it, and now they're good friends now. So I mean, it's just
like a matchmaker as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just, but again, that's the fun of it. Honestly, it's so.
You're coming over to Germany in November. Me and Craig are coming over to the States in December. We're coming to the Ravens game. Put my name on a Taylor ham roll for me, please, man. Come on.
Oh, you got it, man. I got you. I got you.
Nice. We're going to wrap up with a few predictions, little quick fire round for you.
All right.
Before we go. So who's going to be the most valuable Giant on offense this year?
Man. I'm going to go out on a limb. And maybe it's not that much of a limb, but I'm going to say Daniel Jones over Malik.
Surely.
I think Daniel Jones, because Malik can still have a great season, just like we had with Odell. But we're going to go as far as Daniel Jones takes us. So I'm riding hard with DJ. I almost thought about rocking his jersey for this interview.
I mean, it's just over my shoulder, right? You can't see it.
Yeah, I got mine. I got it hanging up downstairs. I got it airing out. Yep. So
there he is. We'll leave that in picture for now.
I may rock that week 1, although I did just win one of those Century Red jerseys on the boardwalk.
They're so sick. They're so nice, aren't they?
Yeah. I actually did one. I won one on the boardwalk the other day. And I ended up getting Spider-Man. So I'm probably going to rock that one week 1 since they're wearing it then.
I mean, it's got to be week 1. Got to be done week 1, surely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But but honestly, I really do feel Daniel Jones. We're going to go as far as that man takes us. And listen, whether you like him or hate him, if you're a Giants fan, put your fan behind this guy, and as long as he's our quarterback, let's go out there and move hard for this guy. Let's root for him to succeed, because he's going to take us as far as he's going to take us. And honestly, we should be doing nothing but rooting for the guy until he's not our quarterback. Let's root for him.
Amen, brother. All right, so I've kind of preempted your answer for this one, but most valuable Giant on defense.
Man. So I'm going with Spider-Man. Like, I know Kayvon and all that. I love Kayvon too. I think Spider-Man just brings a totally different dynamic. And like I said, and then you got, Chapman too. So you can name like 4 or 5 guys on defense that I think are really going to make an impact this year. So, but I'm going to go with Spider-Man.
Nice. Who's going to be a surprise package?
I think, like we talked about, I think the undrafted kid, Chapman. He's going to actually come in and he's going to line up along Dex. And I think you're going to see him. I think Carl was just talking about it on his podcast that they're going to get him reps early and they're going to get him in. And if he could take a guy away from Dexter Lawrence, and you're going to see the mayhem that they cause, and then they're not going to be able to double Kayvon. You can't double everybody. And just think that's going to help, how much that's going to help our secondary too. So I just think the defense as a whole, I think they're really going to come together as a unit, and they're going to be our team identity.
Fingers crossed. Last one. What is our record going to be for the 2024 season?
So people say I'm unrealistic. I think a solid, going off of what we talked about for last season and everything, I think the Giants could legit go 10-7. I could see 10-7. So with our schedule, is rocking early. We got to win some division games though. That's the thing. We got to beat Dallas and we got to beat Philly. Beating Philly at the end of the season last year, I don't want to hear how it cost us a draft spot. If you didn't like that game, you're not a Giants fan. So 100%. That was a long time coming, that butt whipping that we put up on them, and I can't wait. And hopefully we can do it again this year.
And they went cold into the playoffs, and look what happened.
Yeah, that was great. You couldn't have.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
10-7 though. I like the optimism, and I think
And I think that's real. I think 10-7, 9-8, right in that area. I think we're going to be. But I think we're going to be in the thick of it come December. I think come December, we're going to be playing meaningful games.
I hope so.
And listen, that's all we can ask for right now, right? That's all we can ask for. And make improvement.
I hope it's not a wasted trip coming over there in December for the Ravens game. I mean, it won't be in terms of getting over and enjoying everything else that comes with it. But I hope it's not a wasted trip in terms of actually the game not meaning anything. So,
well, you know the whole thing about the Ravens. You know the whole thing of Lamar Jackson.
go on.
Giants are the only NFC team he's never beaten.
Yeah, we are.
And he found that out right after we got back from London. And I was very timid going into that game. I was like, oh man, us coming back from that London, that emotional win. It's like playing a good team like the Ravens, and we wound up winning that game. And that was incredible. So
yeah, I mean,
let's
hope it continues this year. Let's hope it continues this year. All right, well, that's all the questions I've got. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks,
before
Dan.
Before you go, where can UK Giants fans and Giants fans all around Europe find you if they're coming over for the first time?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm and hit up anybody in the UK Giants group. Honestly, like all you guys could lead them to me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. We're working on some other things. We're working on Discord. I know Andy's trying to get the ball rolling on that. So we're doing that. But yeah, feel free to message me and just comment on one of the posts, and somebody will get you in touch with me.
Definitely.
All right,
definitely.
And I'm happy to help. So.
And if you don't know where to send, feel free to ask us as well. You know, we'll point you in the right direction.
Thank you guys for doing that. I really appreciate that.
Our pleasure, man. Because at the end of the day, like you said, you make the experience that much better for people coming over from the UK, from our shores to yours, and actually be able to enjoy the game day experience that much more. So we fully appreciate it, man.
And listen, we only got a small pond that's separating us, but we're one big family, man. That's what it's all about.
You know it. Yeah, we hope you hope you've enjoyed coming on with us. We hope those that are watching and listening have enjoyed listening to. And you're welcome, man. And we hope those that have tuned in have enjoyed this episode as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff as well. Social links are going to be in the description below. Paul, thank you so much, man.
Thank you very much, man. And let's go Giants.
Let's go Giants.